So let's talk about Kim Jong-un, the guy who leads North Korea. He's seen as this powerful and pretty ruthless dude who has total control over the whole nation. His influence doesn't just stop at the borders. It spreads out, making people across the world pretty uneasy. When you hear from people who've actually been to North Korea, they often describe it as this giant prison. We're talking about super tight government regulations that make it almost impossible to leave the country. And get this, anyone wanting to exit needs government permission, which just adds to the feeling of being trapped. Now, if you're a foreigner in North Korea, you better watch your step. The penalties for breaking even the smallest local rules can be pretty severe. Interestingly enough, foreigners often face tougher consequences compared to local citizens, which really shines a light on just how oppressive this regime is. In North Korea, the media is completely controlled by the government. They decide what citizens can see and hear, which keeps anyone from challenging the state's narrative. This manipulation is a big part of how the regime maintains its grip on power. It's not just about individual actions in North Korea. People can get punished for the mistakes of their family members too. This shows just how extreme the collectivist mentality is there. It pretty much creates an atmosphere where dissent is nearly impossible. Take the story of Otto Warmbier, for example. His experience highlights the brutal consequences that can come with traveling to North Korea. It shows just how closely foreigners are monitored, and sadly, his tragic fate underscores the regime's blatant disregard for human life. You can imagine how heavily fortified the North Korean border is, right? There's a massive military presence making any escape attempts incredibly risky and tough. Just think about the harrowing journey a soldier might face, but it paints a picture of those perilous conditions. Still, many North Koreans are willing to take those risks to flee to South Korea, even knowing that it could cost them their lives. Some do manage to slip through, but they often encounter immediate dangers right after making it out. Now, the border with China offers a slightly better chance for those looking to escape. The security isn't as tight, but the whole dynamic of North Korea and China makes things a bit more complicated for defectors. The area around the North Korea-China border is tough to navigate, with dense forests and rugged mountains. This makes it super challenging and dangerous for anyone trying to defect. Many people end up facing life-threatening situations while making their escape. Interestingly enough, even though it's dangerous, a lot of North Koreans see entering China as a stepping stone. They figure out ways to travel to places like Vietnam or Taiwan to dodge detection by Chinese authorities, hoping for that shot at a new life. Since the 1990s, about 34,000 North Koreans have successfully defected to South Korea. Many of them are trying to escape the harsh economic conditions that have been made worse by international sanctions and food shortages back home. In response to the escape attempts, North Korea has rolled out some serious security measures, like intelligence monitoring and high-voltage fencing at the border. These steps are all about keeping potential escapees from getting away. On top of that, Kim Jong-un has made deals with China and Russia to repatriate defectors. This kind of support has played a role in the noticeable drop in people trying to leave North Korea. The numbers tell a striking story. Defectors went from thousands to about 1,000 in 2019 alone. This drop highlights just how much the risks have escalated for anyone thinking about making a run for it out of North Korea.